Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. It's great to have you here as always. Thank you for watching. You're watching the VSO Gun Channel. Now, we're going to pace today's video a little bit differently because this is really important information. There are multiple recalls going on right now that are impacting over 100,000 safes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw up a graphic on screen, a couple graphics maybe, that list out the places where these were prevalent, as well as the individual models of the safes that you can check really quick to see if you are impacted by this. Send this out to anybody that you think might be impacted by this. They need to know this information. And then after we come back from the sponsor slot, we'll talk a little bit about what's actually going on here and a larger discussion that if you are impacted by this, you and me need to have a talk. Many of these items are targeted towards entry-level, new owners that are trying to protect themselves. And hey, it's fantastic that you took the extra step to try to secure your items against unauthorized access. Unfortunately, you got taken. I feel as a firearms professional, it is on me to bring you up to what the standards should be, because this is not it. Capitalism break. I started using XS back in my early 20s, like when I could actually see. I used them for the first time in a force-on-force class, and up to that point, to be completely honest, I really didn't get it. From that experience, I can definitively tell you that XS's big dot sight is the best sight for when you're shooting like this. Of course, they make regular sight profiles too, but the consistent attributes are a bright tritium vial surrounded by a photoluminescent insert that charges up with exposure to any light source. They also do everything from shotgun beads to AK post sights, ensuring that XS has a solution when you need the brightest sights in any light. All right, so where do I want to start with this? I guess I'm going to use the word safe throughout this thing. And instead of going like this every single time, I'm just going to start off by saying that these are not gun safes. These are not vaults. Neither of those two items apply, even though the manufacturers have branded those as such. These are lockboxes. This is a thing that is designed to deny incidental access by maybe like a curious toddler or something like that, right? So you want to have a firearm in your house to protect yourself. You want it to be readily accessible, like on a nightstand or something like that, but having a naked pistol sitting on your nightstand when you got a 4-year-old running around is just a bad idea. And I appreciate that you have taken the initiative to say, yeah, you know what, that is a bad idea, but we still should be able to protect ourselves in the dangerous world that we live in. So we're going to put something over top of that. Outside of that, that is not what these are designed for. They are not designed to deny criminal activity. They are not designed to even defeat a curious teenager. For those types of things, these are not it. If you wanted in one of these things and you had a sledgehammer in 10 minutes, you could totally do it. Or if you were somebody who is coming in to do a smash and grab, that is not what this protects you against. A real safe has considerations for that, i.e. they are heavy, they take a long time to break into, so you can't just run off with it, you can't just pry it open or anything like that. Those are not safes, those are not vaults that we are talking about. And if you want that kind of protection, then you need to invest in something that is a little bit more beefy. But again, I appreciate that you went out and you tried to make it happen, particularly on a budget, because that's what these things are targeted at. Now, the major problem here, because I guess I want to also circle back and say that it is not a problem that you have a pistol and a lockbox on your nightstand. That is not a problem that you have that and you've decided to use a lockbox to secure it. It's that you got sucked in by the fancy biometric thing, because all of these problems result from the biometric lock. That cool, like, look, James Bondy fingerprint thingy. Yeah, it doesn't work. It has always been a bad idea. And even before this whole debacle here, the general sentiment is that you're going to rely on the electronics to get yourself in a hurry. It's not a good idea. If you want to use a lockbox like the ones that are detailed here, it needs to be a manual open type box. They make them out there where there's a series of tactile inputs that you use, and then the thing opens up. I hope to be doing one here shortly. I've been kind of talking to a company that I got to finger bang their thing at SHOT Show this year, and I want to do a full video on how the thing actually works because I think it's very well done. That video will be forthcoming once we finally get that thing on the schedule. But if you want one of those lock boxes, it needs to be a physically mechanical a lock that allows you to directly interact with it. It's not got some kind of electronics or magnets or any of that sort of stuff. Biometrics are no-go, because what's going on with this is the biometric failed to properly authenticate fingerprints. So it was, in some instances, unlocking without the proper fingerprint or not taking fingerprints at all. This series of recalls are not unlike the Fortress situation that we talked about back in, I think it was October of this year. And that one was like, if I remember correctly, like 60,000 units. So 100,000-ish this time around, 60,000 last time around. That's a lot of units out there. So I understand that there's a broad acceptance of this product category, or at least broad use of this product category. I'm not going to say that it should be accepted, and I'm not trying to cast shade on anybody who tries to use a product like this, because I think that there are viable reasons to have a product like this. It's just that the biometric thing is a no-go. And then on top of that, what I would say about any electronic lock is that any electronic lock can be messed with via various means. We know from the Liberty Trader situation that they can be programmed for broad unlock codes. And if you're going to tell me that the biometric computer inside of that safe can't be hacked, then you're outside your mind. So again, a tactile manual opening lockbox is the way to go. But I'm going to tell you, you have to practice with those things. In closing, again, if you know of somebody who might possibly be impacted by this, even if their particular model has been named, then they should probably see this video and know that the biometric thing is not really a great idea, not only for the reasons that we have listed from a tactical standpoint, but it could possibly be a faulty mechanism as well. At any rate, I would be interested to hear from you in the comment section down below. What do you think about this situation, and what kind of changes do you think that we should make to prevent this sort of thing from happening in the future?